thank you all for attending this week's TGAM AWGM. That Guy's a Maniac weekly general meeting. So in accordance with our usual agenda, Farley, do you have anything you need to bring up?
No, just to make sure that when the episode's not going out again, if you could all be pushing the podcast on the socials. So for those of you who are new here, that would be at That Guy's a Maniac. All one word.
Lowercase.
Lowercase. On all your social platforms, basically. So that's That Guy's a Maniac. At That Guy's a Maniac on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And of course, please try and direct traffic to the main website, www.thatguys.co.uk, and let's SEO the shit out of those clicks.
Yeah, SEO with these clicks. Yeah, buzzwords. But yeah, so we're still struggling with a few more concepts for the episodes. We've had some feedback from some of the better episodes that have existed for the last season. Some of the better ones have been things like the memories of old systems where they get to be all nostalgic. There was also one where I believe Farley surprised Richie with a compatibility quiz. That was good. Any thoughts or ideas around that one?
Unfortunately, the episode about their favourite keyboard key didn't record and never went out. I think that would have been a real heavy hitter. However, I have just found this magazine in the lunchroom, which has a very interesting quiz about geek things. Maybe that would work for an episode.
Okay, not at all scripted in any fashion. Let's fucking do this.
Okay, so I found this this cringy quiz. Like, how geeky. I don't know why I was doing it, but I was looking up like geeky things. Just the word geeky things, and there's loads of horrible stuff out there, right? All gatekeepery horrible stuff, and do you know the difference between an AT-ST and a AT-AT and all that?
Yeah.
But I found this quiz, which is quite good, I think, because it's not what is the answer to this. It's this or this. So I don't know. Might be over 5 minutes.
Might be.
We might take half an hour on the first question.
Okay, cool. I'm so psyched for this.
Okay, so we have to be honest, right? So to tap into your soul.
Tap into my soul.
Tap into your soul.
Is this like Dungeons and Dragons geeky, or is it sci-fi geeky? Because we know
it's across
across the spectrum.
Across the spectrum, yeah. And I'm gonna ignore things which I think neither of us have heard of, or anything in the last 25 years. But you'll get.
Let's try it. No, don't leave anything out. Let's just go for it, man.
you'll get a flavour of it as we go.
Okay. Cool.
So question number 1: Squirtle, Charmander, or Bulbasaur?
That is the question.
That is the question.
Wow. Okay, so if we're talking Gen 1,
yeah,
you could go with if you chose Bulbasaur, the first 2 gyms were super easy. So you would go for Brock's gym, you just do the grass moves, and you would just mess him up. And the same with Misty, you just use the grass moves again, and then you've got time to sort of expand. The next level of difficulty would be Squirtle, because you then just have same type against Misty, and then Charmander just basically got dicked by both rock and water types. He was hard mode. So I think in answer to that question, is it easy, normal, or hard? Which one would you go for, Farley?
See, yeah, I'd go. I was taking it from a more like what's the least? I don't know. What's the least mainstream one to choose, right?
Yeah.
So Charmander and Charizard is just so done, right? I mean, Charizard's still, when they print a new Charizard card, it's just hundreds of dollars more than any other one, just because Charizard had that status around it.
Yeah.
So taking out number one, everybody else likes it, would be Charmander. Then I think it's really tough between the other two.
Well, remember, if we were talking actual Gen 1, the benefit and wonder of having, what's he called, Squirtle, is to have somebody with Surf that you actually want to have on your team as well.
Yeah.
You kind of get that with Charizard because you could have it with Fly.
Yeah.
But then more often than not, you're going to pick up a Pidgey or a Pidgeotto or even a Golbat. Can Golbats learn Fly?
They should do, but then...
Yeah, I mean,
Pokemon's
it should means nothing.
Dodrio can fly and Cyber can't, for example.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, let's pretend that you're choosing one and see how it feels. How do you feel if your answer to this question was Squirtle? You feel good? Bad?
I don't think I've ever really mained a Squirtle, so...
It sounds dirty. It's not, but it's...
I don't feel bad about the idea of a Squirtle.
Okay.
What you were saying about Charmander does ring true. Charizard's been done to death.
Yes.
I think I discount him. Bulbasaur I have mained. So yeah, you know what? I think the answer's going to be Squirtle.
The answer's going to be Squirtle. Okay, for novelty, for you, for novelty value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might go with Bulbasaur actually. Just because I've never mained a Bulbasaur.
There we go. What a rubbish answer from both of us, because we've never mained it.
No. But also, I think it's it has that interesting dual typing as it evolves.
I mean that is very, very true. You get fire flying with Charizard.
Yeah.
You get pure water, and you stay pure water with Blastoise. And then you get grass and poison for... Is it Ivysaur upwards as well?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I know that Bulbasaur isn't, but the other ones are.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to look up... I genuinely have to look up what is going on with Bulbasaur. Because I'm not too sure. Yeah, what's a good stat and move spread? Because I've literally never, I've leveled them up and Mega Evolved them and G-Max them and whatnot, but never invested in one to have. Do you have any idea? Slow and bulky, is it?
I think he's like high special defense. They were all very the starters just had a very nice spread of moves. They were always quite even. They were never super fast. They were never super slow. So I reckon Venusaur would probably outspeed things that you wouldn't imagine he'd be able to outspeed.
Yeah, because just imagine it being very slow.
Just having a quick look. Let's have a look at Ivysaur. Okay, speed is 80. Compare that to a Vileplume, which is 50.
Okay.
A Parasect, which is 30. And in
fact, compare it to a good Pokemon.
Okay. Comparing it against all of the other grass types, Venusaur is the fastest grass type in Gen 1. So let's have a look at the other Gen 1. So Blastoise, faster or slower than Venusaur.
This is like play your cards right, but
Yeah.
Faster.
He is slower than Venusaur.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
78 speed.
Oh, only
Madly.
just.
Yeah.
Only just.
And again, they've all got stats sort of around the 80, but Blastoise has got a defense of 100, and Venusaur has a special defense of 100. So it's kind of they're evenly playing out. Right.
Okay.
Next up, Charizard, faster or slower than Venusaur?
Must be faster.
He is much faster. His main stat is speed at 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I didn't answer your question about how to set up a Venusaur.
no, it's interesting because I think, since I've been following competitive Pokemon playing, none of them have really got much. None of them have really got much play. I don't think. I do remember there was for a while. There was a semi-threatening Venusaur, I think.
Yeah, sunny day, solar beam.
Yeah, it was around when all the weather stuff came in and some buffing. In a way that I can't ever remember Blastoise or Charizard ever.
Yeah, so solar beam is usually a 2-charge.
2-turn charge.
2-turn charge.
Yeah.
And when you put sunny day up, which is sunny weather, it just boom does it in one move, and it's super powerful because of that. But yeah,
Okay.
to be honest, his moveset is tiny as well.
In Gen 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them were though in Gen 1.
Mm.
When I've gone back to play through them and you were leveling up going, when does you got like whatever a cloister with snarl and growl, not even snarl, growl and tackle and peck. You're like, I wonder when it never gets anything.
Wow.
And then all the TMs were one use only, right? So
were they? TMs. Yeah. I was about to say HMs there. Yeah.
So yeah.
And of course, Venusaur can learn cut for your what's it called? For all your HM slave needs.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So final answer. I think I'm gonna go Bulbasaur. You're gonna go Squirtle, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Squirrel. Yeah.
Squirtle does have, or Blastoise does have much cooler Megas and Gigantamax form. Whereas I think Venusaur kind of lucks out both of Mega Evolution and Gigantamax, right? So Charizard gets 2 forms in Mega Evolution, which both do slightly different things, and then both Bulbasaur's Mega Evolve form and its Gigantamax form is just my flowers now big.
I'm a bigger flower island thing.
Yeah. And there's not actually that much. I think I'd probably be hard pressed to pick out the Gigantamax form from the Mega Evolve form, whereas the other two have, Blastoise gets the 3rd cannon, and then G-Max Blastoise gets the mad mental, like battleship shit on its back, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur just gets Venusaur just gets bigger.
Okay. So just to quickly, because I actually researched this now, go back to the HM slave thing. So
yes.
Venusaur only gets cut.
Right.
Blastoise gets surf and strength.
Interesting.
Charizard gets cut.
Yeah.
Strength.
Yeah.
And from yellow onwards, fly.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's why it sort of struck a chord in my head. It's like, does he learn it? Because obviously in red doesn't. Well, there you go. Okay, I think we're done with that. We've got our answers. Have you written them down securely, safely somewhere?
Yes.
Okay,
sure.
Good.
The answers don't really go anywhere in this one.
Right. Okay.
Mario or Sonic is the next question.
Mario. Next question.
Mm. Mm.
I'm gonna say one. No, I'm not. Like, there's too much shit with the Sonic series. There's the Sonic Heroes. There's Shadow the Hedgehog. There's, oh my god, so many
But
furry outfit, silly things.
I fear that I feel that Sonic's had more of a redemption arc.
Has he?
Mario's been consistently good.
Yeah.
Right. Very few flops. I mean, even the weird educational games weren't as bad as bad Sonic, right? As Sonic 06, as Shadow, all of that stuff. But then, I think recently there's been a couple of decent Sonic games. The Sonic film was apparently okay. The Sonic in Smash, the Sonic in Lego Dimensions.
I mean, like, okay, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna think about the characters in that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, immediately my head went to Super Mario World versus Sonic 2. You know, the two big games that came out at the same time, and it's just kind of like, I'd definitely choose Super Mario World over Sonic 2. Any day, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I think my head goes as Mario, but maybe my heart goes as Sonic. Even though there's a lot that I hate about Sonic.
Yeah.
Most
I
of
feel
the
like
animated
you're
series, the CG series. But then when I see him, I think I sent you. It might have been you or my brother the teaser for the second Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
All it is there's like tiny bit of music.
Yeah.
From Sonic 2, and I was getting full on shivers in a way that chills.
And the way that a woman could never make you feel.
in a way that never could.
No,
I think it's because he's had some tough times. I'm happy that Sonic's still
For
around,
all of the listeners at home, that was a Mario impression, incidentally.
It's a very good Mario impression. Do your Mario impression?
No. No.
You had a Mario. Oh, that was awful, Richie. Really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Italian. Okay. I think that's us done.
Well, I mean, like, Mario is consistently good and is still consistently good to this day. You still haven't played Odyssey, but it's an amazing game. So I mean,
but the camera's really bad.
No, the camera's great in Odyssey.
Oh, the camera's really bad.
Camera's great in Odyssey.
The worst thing about Mario is the camera.
Yeah, I mean, like, you go back and you play Mario 64, and it is heartbreaking how bad it is. Mario Sunshine, you go back and you're like, oh, what's wrong with this fucking camera? Why have they chosen to make me run at this weird, not actually a diagonal, not straightforward run over these horrible jumps?
See?
Yeah.
Maybe you should choose Sonic. Did you see, apropos Mario 64, a sealed copy of Mario 64 sold for $1.5 million this week?
I mean, mad. Why was it so special?
I think, well, the deep state take is that both this and there's a Zelda game recently that sold for silly money is being pushed by a bunch of people who want to make video game collecting a thing. Okay. But what I think is really interesting is that it's stupid money because it, you go and find it for like £2 in NECX or something. It's not even like a particularly rare game. It seems silly that such a mass-produced game that you can still play in multiple formats reaches that silly price because what's the advantage of having a sealed N64? It's not. Yeah, very strange. It's not. It doesn't tick your boxes of your typical silly collectible, right? In that it's rare or there's something crazy about it.
I mean, unless it has been sealed for a long time, it'd be tough not to find some bashed, faded, crumpled up manual version in CEX. If you had a nice, pristine one, then yeah.
But then that's why it makes no sense with video games, right? Because you've just bought a thing you're never going to play, right? It's not like a...
I mean, that can be placed on every single collector's that argument, sort of like the people who buy 2 board games, one to play and one to actually, just keep, and things like that. It's
but I guess video games are the more extreme end of that, right? So if you buy like a trading card, okay, most you can be into trading cards if there's a game or not. At least you can see the thing.
Yeah.
If it's a action figure or a dolly, again you keep it boxed, but at least you can see the thing. Board game starts to make a little bit less sense, but at least there's physicality to it, right? Be it the different pieces and the whatever the tokens and stuff that you pry out.
Yeah.
A video game is just your weird. It's just the cartridge. Very strange.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're getting at. You're getting at the point that it could be the game is the data stored on the cartridge as opposed to like owning the cartridge.
Yeah,
I mean, you could say that about having a platinum vinyl. It can be played, but platinum vinyl's not what I meant. Like a platinum record, you could play that. The music is there, but you've got the physical representation of it.
Yeah, but it's a record that like everybody owns.
Oh yeah, I mean I suppose that's the other thing. Yes, the
Yeah,
game already can be played a million different ways on the Switch, on virtual consoles, on.
Yeah.
Well, God knows
or you could go and find the original cartridge, but not it's not hard to find that cartridge. Yeah. So a combination of those things to me, this thing's very, very weird.
I quite like the idea of, because I knew somebody who actually had a massive video games collection, and he was collecting them for collecting's sake. He'd still play them, but he kept everything like super pristine.
Yeah.
Like he had a SNES with all sorts of things on it. He had like US cartridges, he had Japanese imports. He had a Dreamcast, and he'd collected like hundreds of games. You know, he eventually sold this as a job lot, and I just watched it on eBay, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean
I want to buy this, but I want to buy it for the same reason that he's owned it, and that I would probably have to sell it.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens to 98% of video game collections, right?
Yeah,
it's just so much time and effort put into them, and then either financial circumstances change, or
you grow up, or have a kid.
Marital status changes, and then I'm saying like, why do I have 150 boxed N64s?
Hey, listen, I don't even have tie downs like that, and I look at my Steam collection alone and contemplate, what have I done with my life,
Yeah, but at least you can potentially play your Steam games, right? Unlike whoever, I don't know, maybe whoever bought this £1.5 million Mario 64 is just gonna, crack it somewhere on a live stream and play it. Just for the buns. Yeah. Unboxing Mario 64. Anyway, that's an aside. We've disagreed on that. That's interesting. In fact, we've disagreed on both of them so far.
Wow, okay. So
next question.
You're going with Sonic?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, fine. That's fine. Like, I enjoyed the Sonic movie. That's the only redemption that I've seen from Sonic since Sonic 2.
I mean, the music is better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close. It's not an easy thing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know where you're going from. Like, I'm not going to disagree there.
I just get the tingles. Sonic gives me the tingles.
Makes you feel special down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Sonic is. I don't do enough drugs to make the analogy. Sonic is the crack to Mario's meth. I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Okay, this one's a bit more of a philosophical question. Tank, DPS, or healer?
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Now we know where you have been for a long time.
Oh, God. All three have redeeming qualities.
Shut up. I don't want to hear that philosophical. You have to... Come on.
Hey, I'm getting there. I need to think it through. I need you as a soundboard here as well.
Okay.
I mean, I suppose the cop-out is probably DPS because it is a very satisfying role to play. You're aiming for the bigger numbers. You're trying to be as efficient as you can to kill things in a very, very quick time.
Yeah.
And basically the other two people's job, i.e. tank and healers, just exist only to make you able to kill things as fast as possible.
Yeah. So you're the quarterback, right? If you're the DPS.
Yeah, but you're never the sole quarterback. You're going to be DPSing. There's always more DPS than there is tanks and healers. Now, I did play tank for a while. I quite like tanking. Once I know the instance or whatever I'm playing quite well, I am usually more than happy to go in and tank it. Mainly because there's so few tanks that it's dead easy to just jump in and immediately play rather than have to wait and queue as normal DPS. That's like my sole reason for tanking, not for, like being the Chad, being the leader or doing anything else like that. No hidden agenda, just that it's much quicker if I play this way.
Which one would you say was the easiest to play? Probably tank, right?
No. Tank is hardest to play. I would say the easiest is probably DPS.
You think?
Yeah.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Because tank, you have to do everything you can to protect everyone else. Stop anything else hitting the rest of your team. So you are like pulling every cooldown out the book. You are trying your absolute best to stop.
Okay, maybe another way to think about it is if you've got bad tanks, bad DPS, or bad healers, which one's the hardest to do?
What do you
So if you're doing, say you're doing a WoW raid, right?
Yeah.
And your tanks are shit, or your DPS is shit, or your healers are shit. Which one's the toughest? Like
everybody needs to bring it, I would say. But
what's the hardest fail?
I think if your tank is shit and you just can't get anywhere, then yeah, you're fucked. But also if your healer is shit and isn't healing the tank, or indeed anyone else is taking damage, then yeah, it's going to be a wipe. But I suppose if your DPS is shit,
yeah,
you're going to have more. DPS. I think there's a larger spectrum of how shit you can be as a DPS, if that makes sense. Because usually DPS have to bring something else to the table. They will have some kind of benefit or boon to them. Like they will be able to do a some kind of a buff that will allow, it'll justify that person being there,
Yeah.
even if they're not particularly good. So I think there's more room to be shit if you're DPS, whereas there's less room as a healer or tank.
So Richie, I'm gonna have to push you for your answer. We've discussed some of the elements, the logic elements.
We haven't really touched on healer, which I played for over a year as well. I don't dislike healing, but I do feel a disconnect when healing as well.
See, I would, to lay on my cards on the table, I'd go for healer straight away. No shadow of a doubt.
Why is that?
That's just how I like to play. In kind of supporting roles rather than so kind of taking the broader kind of things that might fall on healer and support, etc. So when I play online games, I'm always happier supporting other players in a healing way, but in other ways as well. And not, I don't know, and not necessarily the tank or the DPS roles. In a way that really sucks. I was talking to my brother about this because he also feels the same. But in games like, I don't know, say Monster Hunter, which you don't really have the archetypes quite so bad. But in the classes which are really, really those supporting / healing ones, the single player sucks. Right?
Yes, that is a very big aspect to it as well. So
you can't do it, right? Or you can, but it's taking you like 44 minutes and 59 seconds to take out a boss, rather than if you were just single player DPS and you just do it in 20 minutes.
Dead. But there's also the flip side to that, because, like, for instance, if you go really, really deep into DPS, usually what that ends up meaning is you end up being a glass cannon. Yeah, so even if you are taking things out quicker, you're probably having to regen in some fashion as well, or you're going to have to, not get hit. You have to really, really play hard as well.
Yeah.
So in answer, I like all roles. I'm not against them. I understand them, and I think I tend to gravitate to DPS. So I'm going to say DPS.
Okay. I'm going to say healer. That's where I like to be. Cool. Sorry, tank, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, tank.
Not today, son. The next question, Ken or Ryu?
Ryu.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
you can?
No. This is my thought process. Like, I'm not Ryu, right? Oh, but I'm definitely not Ken.
Yes, I think I am with you there.
So, I mean, particularly because not just in Street Fighter, but all the other Capcom fighting games where Ryu is there, and in many ways it's the easier character to play, or you all fought endless online matches against Ryu, so we're just doing Hadoukens.
I mean, he's the entry level character.
Yeah. And he's got
But I mean, of course, like, saying that, there's a whole Street Fighter 5 community that's just started twitching underneath one of their eyes.
Oh yeah, of
because
course.
we said that,
Yeah. I'm sure there's a curve, in some of the games, whatever, EX plus Alpha, there's a curve up to Ryu. But then he's also in Marvel vs. Capcom and Smash as is Ken, and it just doesn't really have anything going on, as a character.
He's definitely the star of the Street Fighter series. Like, when you look at, let's say, the Smash additions to their rosters, like they brought in Kazuya in Tekken.
Yeah.
Because it's either him or Mishima, that you're gonna bring in. Yeah, no, he's the poster boy. He's the token, and Ken feels like the carbon copy of Ryu, and not the other way around. And that is always how it's going to be.
Yes, but Ken is interesting, and Ryu is not interesting. What's your motivation? Oh, I'm just on a journey to be the best, and whereas Ken's a little bit cocky, a bit twatty, But I think ultimately I could never choose Ken.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're safely landed on Ryu, but
Ryu
he does have like stories like. I mean, you've got the evil Ryu, and you've got the
but
you've got the Ikumas and all that sort of stuff.
Even his story is just all about other men who do Hadoukens.
I know, it's so true.
I was taught by Hadouken man to do Hadoukens, and then this other man who doesn't really he's not really into the mythology of doing Hadoukens. He also
now I do Hadoukens with 3 frames less than my other Hadouken.
But then there was a big evil man who did Hadoukens who had to fight, who killed my mentor, who told me how to do Hadoukens. Like, fucking come on, guys. But yeah, sorry, Ken, not you.
Yeah, then Ken's relegated.
Yeah.
His own fault.
Yeah. And also his this might be at the heart of why I can't choose him. His the beat when you lose in Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and you see their beaten up faces.
Yeah.
Ken's was always slightly disturbing to me.
They're all fucking disturbing. Like, really brutal. Like, big, sort of swollen, bruised lumps coming out of their faces and stuff like that. That is horrible.
Yeah. But Ken's was always, he had the blood coming out of the side of the nose, and
yeah.
He's just got stupid hair.
Yeah. He is of his time.
he actually
American man.
No, yeah, you're right. He is very 90s American, whereas Ryu's timeless, right?
Yeah.
Modern day Ken makes no sense. Modern day Ryu is fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, not even modern day Ken's just sad. Oh, okay. Somebody didn't go over the 90s. Whereas Ryu's kind of, dare I say, a little bit cool now. Next question.
Yeah.
I had one.
We agreed on something.
Sorry?
We agreed on something.
We did, yes. It's the first one we agreed on. Who knew? Let's go for a non-video game one. Dark side or light side of the Force? Yeah, if we can, just before we discuss it, park all elements of anti-Semitism and genocide, all those things, all those problematic elements, right? Those are gone.
I don't know. Like,
ooh. So
there's a lot cooler stuff going on in the dark side.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, there's clearly a lot more sort of lightning shooting, and there's
choking,
general, like abuse of power as well.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you can move things with your mind, is what you're gonna do. And then, of course, you've got your light side, which are just basically monks.
Yeah. cultural appropriation as well. As we're glossing over that as well. Yes, and one is obviously Darkseid's obviously destructive and overriding.
And you get to have a redemption arc on the dark side, it seems, in most cases as well. It's best of both worlds. Yeah, I'm gonna go dark side.
Gonna go Darkseid. Well, okay, if we broaden this out, so we're not just talking about which side of the Force you choose. If you're playing like a game with a morality system,
God.
what would you normally play? Do you normally play?
I always play fucking. Oh no, actually, that's a lie. I play chaotic good.
Yeah. Okay.
So I suppose this is another way of looking at it. What's the D&D system?
Yeah.
Where do you sit and all of that? And quite often I don't just play chaotic good. I play what does the achievement good.
Yeah.
Quite often, right? Okay, my character needs to do this to get this achievement, so I guess I'm gonna go and make my morality meter good for a little bit, and then or bad for a little bit, so that I can get that achievement. I don't know. No,
yeah. Here's a discussion I have in my head all the time. Is when playing these games, or here's how it goes. Is as you've just nicely laid out, I'll get the good ending first, and then I'll come back and do it evil, and then I'll never ever come back.
Yeah. So you've left it in evil?
No. So I'll do it on. I'll do it on the good mode, because normally the good ending is you have to do everything nicely.
Yeah.
But then I'll be like, oh yeah, it would be great to come back and do everything evil, and then by that time I'm done. I never ever come back and do it. Or it's just yeah. I mean, not even that. I just can't sometimes.
It's pretty hard. Especially
even though it's just NPCs, right? You're just like what was I talking about the other day? The Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds? Outer Wilds, I think it is, isn't it? And yeah, I don't know. I just can't be mean to NPCs.
I mean,
sad.
Like I don't kill an NPC for no good reason. Like, I don't go in like in Oblivion or Skyrim and just slaughter a village for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But I will frequently, when I'm talking to someone or in Fallout or whatever, be just like, oh, I don't care about your shit. What do you need me to do? That's probably like how it sort of ends.
Yeah. Will you pickpocket them while they're talking to you as well?
Yes. Like, I mean, I'm thinking about my lizard boy character from Skyrim.
Yeah.
Which was genuinely, I was sneaky. I was an archer. I used poisons. First thing that I could do was immediately join the Thieves Guild, Assassins Guild, and the Dark Brotherhood as well. So it's just like I was doing all of these evil things. However, I was still helping citizens find their chickens, So it's an odd it's an odd thing. And yeah, I had no desire to like go in and kill people off or anything like that. I was just genuinely, I'm there for the thrill of killing bandits, dicking about with the mechanics. So I don't know, but then again, I'm thinking of other games which I've played through, which are a bit more moral compassy, such as say Red Dead Redemption or Dragon Age.
Yeah.
And I always land on the good character, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also, again, in previous episodes we talked about, still being wowed by the magic of video games sometimes. But I still think, like, oh wow, look, the video game's clever and It knew that I was going to do that, or it let me do this. But most still aren't built for you to have a good time if you just massacred everybody, right? Skyrim gets really boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other flip side to that is I have a constant need for validation. So it's also quite nice when the NPCs say, "Thank you, adventurer," as opposed to, "I hate you. You murdered my family." I think, no, I'd rather they said nice things to me.
Just sitting on a throne of treasure with nobody else left in the world. Sad times.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think my answer to that is going to be, actual question is probably going to be, I'd like to choose dark, but probably wouldn't.
Dark
side on paper, but actually,
like if I was to play one of the Star Wars games, I would probably, I would be the good guy. Yeah.
As much as you might want to play the dark side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Next question.
Avengers or X-Men?
Oh. X-Men.
Yeah. There might not be that much discussion.
No.
X-Men?
Well, I mean, I like if you look at the Avengers team, and let's just go the classic Avengers team.
Yeah.
How many of them are actually, got a special power? One.
And that's the mutant.
Yeah, or no. I suppose you've got Thor. He's kind of controls lightning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you've got what we say. What's the OG line? So Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine.
No, I'm talking movie Avengers versus.
Oh, movie. Okay, movie Avengers.
Yeah. No, it's got so blurred. Let's just go with the Disney-fied versions here. So you've got Iron Man, who's got a suit.
Yeah.
You got Hawkeye, who shoots bows and arrows.
Yeah.
You got Black Widow, who, is acrobatic.
Yeah.
You have Hulk, who gets angry and smashes things. Great.
Yeah.
That's good. That's entertaining. You've got Thor, who is a god of thunder. So, I know, you've got Captain America, who is kind of strong and kind of fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, whereas with the X-Men, you just dive straight into Wolverine. What can you do? He can heal really, really quickly and, pretty much immortal. Awesome. So much plot around that straight away. Even dicky fucking Cyclops. Cyclops is like the Captain America of the X-Men, isn't he?
Yeah, he literally is, yeah.
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 And then you got Jean Grey with the ability to move matter with her mind. You got Patrick Stewart, and you've got I think the X-Men are just more interesting. They just they've had great movies as well. Just they've not had that last one. I didn't even watch it. Did you watch the Phoenix one?
I did, but I didn't watch Apocalypse. So I started watching it the other day. It's 3 hours long.
I quite like the Apocalypse one.
Yeah,
I thought it was quite good.
I'll see, because I think you hit the nail on the head. Is the X-Men is just more interesting, right? In ambiguous ways as well. So Beast. So what's Beast? Oh, he's kind of super intelligent and furry and can climb up on things, but it's not. He's not really like a one-trick pony. And then what does Jubilee do? Oh, well, she makes fireworks.
Yeah, but she's also the most powerful X-Men. X-Men.
Well, yeah. Until they all die, and then the next most powerful one comes along. but yeah, I think they're more interesting.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways they can play about and interact with each other as well, like combos. Like you have Rogue, whose power is basically I can steal other people's powers.
Yeah,
cool. You've got Knight. What's his face? The teleporty guy.
I know. It was in my mind.
Night something or other.
Night Stalker, Night Walker, Night Shade, Night Bamf Man, Kurt Wagner.
Yeah, fucking hell! I can't remember. You remember his name, but yeah. I'm gonna Google Kurt Wagner. There we go.
Nightman.
What?
Nightman.
Nightman. He is Nightcrawler.
There we go. I got it.
Cool. Night Stalker. But yeah, like that is cool, and you've got Mystique, who's this cool sort of, is she good, is she evil? And you think about their powers, and that is what makes them cool. Whereas the Avengers, what are your powers? Oh, you actually don't really have powers, do you? And I think that's something that's a little bit missing from the Avengers in that fashion. So yeah, I'm sticking with X-Men, and in the hope that eventually we're going to have these universes collide at some point.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to go with X-Men as well, and on top of what you've added in, also like the just how they work as an allegory for LGBTQ identities, but then also the communism in America and civil rights in America. I think they're much more powerful and interesting, as well as the kind of the conflict with the villains, right? So also the Brotherhood of Mutants and various other evil or villainous mutant organizations, except for perhaps early X-Men when they were just doing wacky evil things. You had some sympathy towards them, whereas the Avengers never really had that long-running antagonists, right? It was always like a villain of the week.
Or
even
if you look at the movie, there was a foreshadowing of a villain, which took like 10 years to actually come onto the scene.
Yeah. And like you're saying, what are the limits to Nightcrawler's power? What are the limits to all those kind of
because they all seem to get a power up as well, and that's quite funky. They have something that makes them even more powerful. So I think there's a lot more fun to be had with the mutants, purely because they have funky special powers, all moral wokeness aside.
I just think it's a more interesting space than here's the most powerful people who are standing up for right and blah blah blah, which just isn't as interesting. Okay,
cool.
That's when it is. I've also read all the Avengers versus X-Men. It was okay. It wasn't great. Way more wrong you thought.
So shall we call it there for now? Shall we say that guy's a maniac?
Why aren't the Avengers interesting?